What a huge win for Chelsea today. A big 3-0 win at home at Stamford Bridge. The fans were electric. The players were fantastic. And here we're going to break down pretty much everything coming into here. Barcelona, I've said it throughout this season. They look nothing like they were coming into last season. Last season, they looked, for me, I think they were the best team in the world. They were fantastic. And you coming into here, yes, they suffer injuries. Yes, Lamine has his problem. I just think I don't want to blame Flick. I'm not fully blaming on Flick on what he has. I'm not a huge fan sometimes of his substitutions, how he handles the back line, and you know how he has his high line and everything with that. But and of course injuries is a factor, but they should not be playing, I guess, to this extent. You still have key players. You have Fermin, who's having a breakout year this year. Ferran Torres, for me, has always been a consistent player for Barca. Such like a, I don't want to say a super sub because usually he does start and does well, but there's also these big games where you just can't conclude. You can't miss an open goal like that, how he did in the beginning of the half. But the Chelsea, they have a really young team, but a talented team. I think the only thing that they probably should have done in the transfer window was bring in Donnarumma in goal, and I think they arguably have one of the best teams in the world. Robert Sanchez is doing his job. He's not the best goalie in the world, but you know it's fine to have him if your team's doing their job well, and that's what Chelsea did today. I think Cucurella was really good. There might be a little situations where they probably should have got called for a foul, Barca, with Cucurella and Lamine. But besides those like 2-3 times, the whole match, Cucurella looks great. Yeah, he was 100% one of their star players. Chalaba was holding well. Same with Favona. I didn't really know him, like to see him that crazy. I think Gusto was really well in the first half too. I think he always managed to get the ball, but then he got his yellow, then he got a little hurt in his hamstring, so he got subbed out. Casieto's honestly the best DM in the world. I really liked his performance today. You can just see how well he just has that midfield down. And hey, Madrid come calling, you better say yes, because I'll take you over Tchouaméni any day of the week. Reece James, he looks superb. I can see why. For me, I've always been a huge fan of Trent. I was like, you know, you're starting Kyle Walker, you're starting Reece James ahead of him, but you know, the more you watch Chelsea, the more you see players like, you know, they might not get the goals or whatever, but they do their job fine, and that's what Casiero and Reece James really did today. Same with Enzo Fernandez. I think Enzo looked really well. Estevao is just superb. You know, there's the debate with Lamine and him. You're probably arguably the two best young wingers in the world right now. And yeah, he looked fantastic. As he scored an amazing goal. Always managed to go through the defense. He had Conde on lock. And then obviously that huge red card from ARUAJO helped Chelsea by a margin. Then there's Garnacho. I feel like, you know, Garnacho wasn't, you know, the star player of this match, but I think he did I think he did really good. You know, he's slowly getting to groove things at Chelsea. I think he's performing better each time he steps onto the field. And yeah, I think he looks superb. I think he looked pretty good today. A lot of he got he passed it to Cucurella that gave it to that own goal from Kunde. He gave one to Andre Santos, so Andre Santos scored, but it was offside. There's a lot of situations where Garnacho was managed to get the ball in the middle. Garnacho is such a pacey winger. I think he looked pretty decent today. I think the more he plays, especially against a Barcelona, you know, his stint in United last season wasn't the best, playing wise, and I guess personal and mental wise. And it's great to see it. And that's, I don't know why his rating is a 6.9. I think he was spectacular. He was quick. He 100% could have had a hat trick this match. I think that's so. For me, I said it since he was in Wolves. I said it before a couple years ago. I wanted him at Liverpool. I think Frank. Then Neto is such a underrated player, and him in the wing is even better. He's just playing out of position this match. But man, Neto is 100% a player that's capable of being that guy for the team, and that team is Chelsea. You know, obviously, I think what I said before, Garnacho slowly developing to the player that he could be. But if you have Neto down there, which he 100% plays better at, for me, I think he plays better in the right as well. But you're not dropping Estevao. He's everyone's fan favorite now. And then you have Garnacho slowly getting to groove of things. You also have Gittins, and then Cole Palmer's still out from injury. But Chelsea is just they look like in a good spot right now. And in Barca here, I mean, 7.5. I think the rating is a bit generous now. I think a 7.5 is a little bit too high for Lamine. Barca's best player this match probably Joan Garcia, maybe Bolden, Kubarsi. I think out of those three, maybe those are the best players. Besides that, man, Barcelona just underperformed. I said it. I've been saying there's a few games they should have. They should have another loss in Champions League, and they should have a few other losses in La Liga, because I think Barcelona have been playing at a level where they just shouldn't be at, and they're underperforming and nowhere near from they were last season. And even before the injuries and all that, I see the difference of the Barca last season and the Barca this season. Straight up in the first couple games of the season, they didn't look like the Barca that we were watching. And then of course Raphiana coming back from injury. I think Rashford should have started. I think he barely got the ball in the second half, so don't get me wrong about that. I don't know. I just think Rashford has been really key for Barca lately, and obviously, I said before, Ferran Torres has been like an underrated player for Barca last season or so. They are loud upstairs. Jeez. One thing for Chelsea, I wish they brought Mark Yu. You know, the Barca. You know, going back versing his former team that they had. He was a favorite across all social media for reasons. But yeah, injuries list, and you know Chelsea is still not the only one with injuries. You know, Levi Colwell is still hurt. Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia. You know, it's key players really. Colwell and Palmer, and then you know Palmer had a great Club World Cup, and Levi Colwell, who's been you know Chelsea's best center back, but he's out until April. And with Barca, they had, and of course the injuries with Pedri. I think without Pedri, Barca are a completely different team. And which one I was gonna look at? I think Barca's next fixtures are difficult. I said it in the past video. I said, the next schedule for December is really difficult. They just lost against Chelsea. Deportivo Alaves, they should have that. Atletico, Betis, Frankfurt, Osasuna, Villarreal. That is not the easiest. Really, it's teams that are 100% potential to be. This is games that look like it's gonna be a good match. And the way Barca played, I've been saying the way Barca's been playing, they looked great against Bilbao. I don't know what happened. I watched the Bilbao game. I think they looked fantastic. But yeah, it's pretty much going on there. We'll take a look at Chelsea's next games. Oh, the Arsenal. Okay, bet. I remember someone mentioning that to me. So that you couldn't really rest key players as Barcelona in a Champions League night. Next is Arsenal. This is gonna be a good game. This is not a title decider. Don't get me wrong. It's only December, not even December. It's late November. But yeah, this determines the gap between first and second place, and then it leads Bournemouth, Atalanta, Everton, and Cardiff. This is gonna be a game to watch. And then here we'll see the Champions League group. I don't know. I wonder how low Barca will be after tomorrow's results. So Bayern, Arsenal up top. Inter Dortmund. Dortmund just won today. They had a 3-0 win? 4-0 against Villarreal. PSG. Wonder why there's a gap there. Is it because they play tomorrow? Yeah, it is. Okay, Barcelona. They are in 15th. Chelsea are in 5th. Barca might not make it to top 8 for automatic qualification. They were in second place yesterday. So huge difference. And of course, most of these teams still hasn't played. So teams with 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with 5 points if they win. So let's say Monaco, probably going to be Buffalo, so they might go ahead of Barca. PSV against Liverpool, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool lost. Where's Liverpool? Oh, they're higher than I scrolled down. They're not going to overtake Barca, so that stays unless I think PSV has a high chance of winning. They have a lot of good players, so I wouldn't be surprised if PSV 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. So PSV has a high chance. Glimp just played and they won against Galatasaray. Huge win, really huge, massive win. You had just got slimmed by a last minute goal from Who scored again? I know McKennie scored the second goal. Opena, who scored the last goal. Let's go against Inter. That's gonna be a tough match. But if Let's Go win, they go ahead of Barca. Marseille, they won. They were losing. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they were losing. Harvey Barnes scored. And then Napoli, who just got a win from Karabakh. Atalanta will play tomorrow against Frankfurt. So that's like 4 or 5 positions. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going off by who's below. So 3, 4. Yeah, so like 4 positions Barca can get knocked down. So what? 19th place. Depends if, whatever goes by. And depending of the 4-point teams, like Club Rouge, Frankfurt, and Bilbao. But I think, wait. Oh, yeah. But we'll see what happens there. Champions League matches, they never fail to disappoint.